It's hard seltzer, as I call it, the beverage for people who hate themselves.
Hello, everyone. We are here to discuss White Claw. Why you should always be concerned when somebody says White Claw is their favorite drink. That's a red flag. Why pastries are delicious and cake is never a bad idea. And also, by the way, Berserk Volume 24. Oh yeah, that too. So,
Yeah.
Joe has his OG version. So, Joe, kick us off. Let us give us an intro.
I'm JCM Byrne. I have a new book, Partial Function, coming out Tuesday about a mom with a very particular set of skills and dinosaurs. And I read Berserk pretty much as it came out, more or less, on scanlations, and now I'm rereading it and thoroughly enjoying it, probably more than I did the first time.
And Dan, are you enjoying it more this time?
Probably. You know, I'm spending 3 times the amount of time over each chapter, so it does tend to make it more fun. If it's a good piece of literature, I guess. So yeah, but yeah, I'm Dan. I'm the person that reads. That's it.
Varsha.
Hi, I'm Vasha, and this is my first time reading Berserk, and really enjoying these discussions.
Nice. So, Volume 24, what did everyone think?
It was interesting. It was one of those world-building volumes that told us a lot about the world. I liked the new witch that we met.
Did anyone else get Lord of the Ring vibes?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Well, Luring vibe. Well, more sort of like, you know, classic fantasy, group sort of thing, right? You got the witch, you got the warrior, you got the rogue, you know, the usual stuff.
It's like Miura just started playing D&D.
Yeah.
And he's like, you know what would be cool? We could do just like this module we just had. My friends, we could put this in the book I'm writing. And he hadn't played it before. Because get the magic items, right? As Dan said, you've got the useless cleric, and you've got the witch.
Yeah. It does feel like that, doesn't it? Yeah.
Yeah. More comedy relief than we've seen in a long time.
Yeah.
Especially also because they're like going to, you know, like a mini quest to save the village, right?
It's like we wrote this for the RPG they were making out of Berserk, and so well, might as well put it in the book.
Yeah.
Right? Side quest, kill the trolls.
So, is
That's
there
how
an
it feels.
RPG based on Berserk?
I hope not.
I don't think so.
Sounds horrific. No, hope not. Can you imagine little like 16-bit guts? You know.
But like a tabletop RPG, that would, I don't know. I think that would work. Maybe.
I was thinking like a console, like an old console, like Zelda style video game.
Mm-hmm.
But a tabletop could work.
I think
absolutely.
there's a Berserk video game, I think, in the 90s or something, but maybe I'm wrong.
Oh, and I know that song.
Oh, actually, there's a bunch of Berserk video games, PlayStation 2, and etc.
Oh, interesting. And do you play as Guts?
Well, it seems like it. Well, I guess who would you want to be? Would you prefer to be Griffith? Yeah, plays Griffith.
Maybe
Let me win.
Casca before she went catatonic, but
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. Actually, I have no clue.
but like, how are you going to kill all the monsters if you're not Guts?
Yeah, pretty much.
Speaking of like archetypes, I think the young witch, I forget her name, the pointy hat and the little getup was pretty on the nose, wasn't it? Like, was like Halloween came early this year, I think.
Or we read it just on time.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it is very typical, I guess. I don't know. Miura does use fancy tropes every once in a while. I mean, it's not. I guess it's also like these tropes are not. They're Western fancy tropes. They're not Eastern fancy tropes, so they're not as prevalent in their own like literature. So
That's a good point.
Yeah, that's a great point.
yeah. I bet they would feel a lot more fresh to the Japanese audience.
So what were the things that gave you Lord of the Rings vibes, Steve?
When they went to the I forget her name, the other witch's house. Give me like, it reminded me of the elves, because they were safe from the trolls and from the spirits, and it's kind of like a sanctuary for them. So that reminded me a lot of when I think it was in Lord of the Rings, when they find they're kind of holed up with the elves and they're protected and they're safe, and the elves give them the protection, the leaves or whatever it is. I forget the name. Sorry, everyone, for all you hardcores out there. But
I thought you meant Rivendell, but
Rivendell,
you mean Lothlorien, you mean?
I don't remember. I'm sorry.
After Moria, right?
Yes, after Moria. Yeah.
So that's Lothlorien.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
But
yeah.
there's two of them, places.
Yeah.
So for Rivendell.
But yeah, it reminded me of that, like a safe place for them to go and hole up and kind of recover and heal and get some protected, get some enchanted weapons or something to help them on their journey. Kind of, and not that I had an issue with it. Just that's what it reminded me of.
Did the trolls remind you of orcs?
A little bit, yeah. Those trolls are serious. Holy shit. I mean, there's a panel towards the end that I kind of, when they attack the barn and they're attacking the villagers, and I kind of like glanced over it, and then I said, no, that can't be it. And I went back because I thought the troll was eating people, but the troll was not eating. Well, they were eating people, but they were also doing other things to them. I was like, wow, these trolls are serious.
Well, they said that they raped Hannah, and there were little trolls, and it almost seemed like they were like creating new little trolls, like on the spot, maybe, or something, which is really creepy.
Well, they
also got the super warty big noses, which is always. Miura's good at drawing gross. Like that's even like the skinny arms make them more disturbing. Like these thick, powerful bodies and like the long, skinny arms. It's like the proportions aren't like a person. Like very, like disturbingly similar, but not. He always does that. Like that's not new to the trolls, but it's really struck me. That if they'd had like really big arms, they were just like really big, like sort of strong dudes. It wouldn't have been as like creepy.
Yeah, because they look a bit different than, I don't know, maybe what I would have imagined as the troll.
Right. They're not like, they don't match like the D&D troll art. When you see like the dungeon.
Yeah.
Which is, that's not a criticism.
I wonder if they're more similar to the traditional troll. I don't know what traditional. No, well, I don't know actually. Maybe they're just their own thing. Let's see. Yeah.
Let's see.
Oh yeah, there you go.
Where it is, right there. Right. Yeah, where it's doing things to the villagers. I was like, whoa, like I thought.
Yeah, a bit fucked up.
Rapey trolls, yeah.
Well, who isn't in this universe?
It seems like even the trolls are, awful.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, I don't want to be overly critical, but I will be. Like this, it feels like there's a lot to like pick at, like not like huge flaws, but like things to pick at in this volume. Like I feel like there's a lot of like excessive nudity that was not needed.
Yeah.
It's just like, all right, more boobs, okay, like come on. And then like the dumping of all the like items, it felt a little lazy. Like, oh, here's all these magic items. Like, as a storyteller, you want to spread that out a little bit. Like, don't just have her saying this will do this and this flame. Like, have them discover things over some time, like in the fight. Pulls out the cape. Oh, it whisks arrows away from me. How cool is that? Oh, I almost spotted a wind elemental, but like dribble it instead of just like info dump. Here's your stuff and here's what it does. It's like an A-Team scene, like, and here's your gun and here's your, just handing out the magic items. It felt a little, I don't know, uninspired. So that's my criticism. I mean, it wasn't bad. And the trolls were gross.
Yeah. Well, we also had a lot of information on, their whole discussion on magic and, I don't know, afterworlds, cosmology. I don't know how you would describe it. There's a lot of stuff conveyed to us in this volume, I guess.
So we're getting a little more detail that there's our world and there's the interstice and there's the astral world. And we kind of had senses of this. It's a little more explicitly explained here. I think that's fine. But then there's this other world overlapping us, the world of idea.
Yeah.
Did anyone make sense of that or relate that to anything else from the story? Because I mean, I'm not saying it's wrong, it's bad if it didn't make sense or if we didn't understand it. It could just be you'll figure this will mean something to you in 10 more volumes. But I felt like, okay, so you're talking about our world, astral world. I kind of get what you're trying to say. There's an interstice layer in between. It kind of things bleed through. That we've seen that before. It's good. It's good stuff. But then like the world of idea, I'm like, oh, ego personified or whatever. I'm like, I don't know what that means. I don't know if we've seen that before. Is that what the 5 hands are supposed to be? I don't think so. I think they're supposed to be from the astral world. But maybe I'm missing. I thought all right. I don't know if I missed something, which is entirely possible. I read this too fast.
Yeah,
No?
I don't know.
Or we'll see. Something to keep in mind for the next, 20 volumes.
Yeah. It doesn't feel familiar, but she also did say if I remember correctly, that the God hand is deep inside the astral world, and that's why, and the Behelit helps you get there to talk to them, right? She told us a bit more about the Behelit, but I forget what it was. That was interesting too. And she did say that that there's a maker who decides who this Behelit is for, and then the Behelit will find them when the time comes, which was also interesting. I suppose, so there were some things that felt like explanation for things we've been seeing all along, and then other things felt completely new, like you said, Joe.
It's a key that links a deep layer of the astral world with the physical world. A fetish for the summoning the 5 angels.
We kind of got that already. We kind of knew that there are things that bleed through more easily, but the God hand doesn't just pop over on a normal Tuesday. Like that's a special event. So we kind of had a sense of this. It's all consistent, which isn't bad. Like that's.
Yeah, I guess we've seen now a little bit where it's not just like evil magic. You have some good magic too, a bit more, apart from Puck. So that is interesting, I think.
The first spell we've seen cast in the series, I think. We got 23 volumes in, and I don't think we've seen an actual straight out D&D spell cast.
Yeah, I don't think so.
I might be wrong.
Yeah.
I don't think we have.
Except,
think so.
Puck, when he heals guts, that's not through spells, right? It is just...
It's his dust.
Yeah.
It's pixie excrement.
It's dandruff.
Dandruff.
Yeah, more dandruff than excrement, yes. Wing dandruff.
So was the creature that we met, Puck-sized creature that we met, she's a pixie and Puck is an elf? Is that what we saw, or are they both pixies? Because I feel like they used both terms to describe both creatures, but is one a pixie and the other an elf, or are they both elves, both pixies?
I thought they were the same, but I might be wrong.
Yeah,
They were the same. There was a lot of like discussion between them that was in really small text that I couldn't read. Need better lighting.
I'm pretty sure she calls herself a pixie, and we know that Puck's been an elf all along. But yeah, and he also makes jokes about being about what's his name? Not Serpico, the kid. Isidro.
Isidro.
Mm-hmm. Being the lowest level student in elf dimension school. I was amused the first time, and then I was like, enough with this already.
It's hard to tell what to take seriously when he says it, though. I think half the time he's like, "Look how dumb I am. It's funny." Like I don't even know what race I am. Like I don't know if we're supposed to take meaning out of it, as opposed to it just being like how cute that he's so naive. He doesn't know what he is.
Yeah.
Can he go away? I couldn't think he could get any more annoying, but he manages to get more annoying every time.
Yep.
Can he just please go away? Why did he tease us with him going away and then he brings him back? Just when we were like, I'm glad he's gone. Here he is again. Go away.
When you come back to social media, you've got to make all your like tags like Steve quote, Berserk isn't dark enough for me.
I didn't say that.
Quote,
But Isidro.
There's too much light, fluffy stuff in Berserk. I want them to take the humorous light elements out of it.
I need Isidro to go away. I don't care how. Just go away.
I'm like, the opening scene, he's like stealing from a perfectly innocent dude, and then he like punches the guy in the face, and I'm like, that guy is not the bad guy in this story. You are.
Yeah.
Unequivocally.
I mean, I'm sure we can take something out of it. Just like Steve wants child killed in book. Right?
Steve advocates for infanticide.
Yeah.
In fiction.
I mean, he can just go. He did go away for a while. He voluntarily left, and it's like,
True.
thank you for getting rid of this stupid kid. And then he comes back. It's like, why?
He's back and he's more annoying.
He's even worse. It's like, please go away. Go play in the dark forests sometime. Like, just go away.
Play with some trolls.
Go play with some
No,
trolls.
I agree with you, Steve. I agree with you. It's like the worst thing for me. Like him and what became of Puck now, sort of. It's yeah.
I'm guessing it's for some like levity and it's for like some comedic relief. I guess in my mind anyway. What I get is like it's a way to like lighten things up a little bit, like have something funny and have a kid. But this annoys me throughout entertainment. But in serious movies, like in horror movies or like action movies, when they bring kids into it, because a kid is always the person to do something stupid to kill everyone or to like put them all in a bad spot, and it's so lazy. Like sometimes it works, like in Aliens, it works. Like something like that, it works. But most of the time, it's like I don't want to see kids in a story like this. It's weird. Like go away, especially annoying kids. Go away. Sorry.
Yeah.
I'm done.
I don't know. I just can't see how maybe that archetype might be a bit more fun if it's not so annoying, right? Like you can think like, oh, you have like the plucky kid, which wants to be independent, but he's trying, like a mini version of Guts, I guess, right? You could have something there, like the mentor and child and whatever, but it's just so annoying.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I think he's sort of meant to be mini Guts, right? But except Guts was struggling to survive. This kid, I don't know why he ran away from home. It feels pretty arbitrary, not like he was having a bad life or anything. And then like if you try to draw the parallels, Guts latched on and looked up to the first person who gave him even a little bit of attention, and this guy's like completely. Steve's holding up a picture.
Didn't she enchant him to think he was a monkey? I think that was
Yeah.
That was cool. And Isidro is having, I forget who he has that conversation with, like one of the villagers, that he doesn't admire Guts, he doesn't care about him, and blah blah blah. And like, these are not things to make us like the kid at all.
Yeah. I don't know. It's just, yeah, because I guess Guts was never like, he was never silly, right?
Yeah, he wasn't silly, and like I rooted for kid Guts maybe a lot more even than adult Guts, because like, you know, we saw how messed up he was at the beginning, and then we went into the golden age with the whole backstory, and like it's hard not to feel for that guy. And like, it's hard not to feel more than annoyed for this guy. So,
Yeah. I guess we don't know anything about his backstory, do we? Like, we barely know anything, I think.
yeah.
I don't know. It
Yeah,
feels
he's-
like we got more sort of backstory of it, like the witch we just met than what
Yeah.
we had of Isidro before, sort of.
I do think Isidro's a little bit of a Japanese cultural trope. Right, like to Miura's audience and to Miura, it would probably be like, oh, of course, this guy, we've seen him so, like, you don't need to hear his backstory because you've seen the character so often. It's like, oh, this is just what they do. This guy appears in stories because of Musashi,
Yeah.
right? Because he's just like Musashi's I forget the kid's name, but if you're at Vagabond,
Yeah.
right, the kid in Vagabond, which is based on the Eiji Yoshikawa books, which were hugely popular in Japan, like it was a hugely influential. Musashi had like this kid following around trying to be his disciple, and this is just like that same kid. And I don't think that kid had a backstory. I think maybe he did. I don't remember. I read those books. I read those books a long time ago, like almost 40 years ago.
Wow.
It's not a joke.
Yeah.
I know, right? But I feel bad now. But like it's like really common, like the plucky kid who wants to be a swordsman, like following the guy around, teach me. So like almost like it's a background character, like you would expect it. I think that's why sometimes the humorous bits strike us so hard, but it's like so common in manga, like
True.
stupid faces and stuff. That to the audience, it's almost like expected, the original audience, but to like Stephen Varsha, not as much because you haven't read like 3,000 volumes of One Piece.
Yeah, it feels like one of those comedic characters in, I don't know, Dragon Ball, One Piece, or whatever, right? Yeah, it definitely feels like that.
Yeah, and if you'd read 1,000 volumes of that stuff before, it's curious. You might just be like, oh yeah, another one of these, and you just take it for granted almost. I don't know.
But even when I do, it's like my eyes glaze over, and I just completely sort of, I immediately just skip all those parts and go to the interesting parts. I don't know.
Not everyone does it. I don't know if they do that in like Hunter x Hunter. No, I've got to reread Hunter x Hunter.
I don't think so. I don't know. There's
Much
not
more
much space with too much words. You can't put comedy in too much in between the walls
That's what
of
we should
text.
Yeah, there's a lot of text. I really like that. That's sorry,
Okay.
tangent.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so
if you want to read a book, but put all the text in speech bubbles, you can read Hunter x Hunter.
It's really good.
Yeah, no, it's good. It's good. It's good. It's just at some point in the later volumes, it's like all text in a page, pretty much.
Yeah.
A lot. I don't know. Yeah, I guess you guys haven't read any of those mangas which have the character talk about, oh, I'm gonna do that, but he's gonna think about that, so I'm gonna plan to do that and that because of all these reasons, right? And it's like long discussions, and it's just people talking about them and doing mental games or whatever.
Just write a light novel, goddamn
Yeah.
it. You're not a manga anymore.
But yeah, but there's a decent amount of them, I think. Or like ones which is like, oh, people are put into a room or something like that, and they need to logic their way out and try to outthink other people. It's a whole genre.
like like Death Note a little bit, right?
Yeah, a bit like Death Note. I try to remember if there was one with like, I don't know, was like super mathy. There's a bunch. I don't remember the names. I read them a long time ago, but anyways.
But this seems very straightforward, this volume, and not inspiring. Like, not bad, but not like, oh my god. I would not tell someone, oh, you want to see how great Berserk is, this is where to start, 24. Like, go there. It's really good. It's going to grip you with its originality and freshness. Like, to an American at least, I would never.
I think it's another bridging volume, though, right?
Yeah.
Between adventures to set up the next part, sort of. I don't know.
But, yeah.
There was some interesting stuff. I don't know. What do you think of the knight that's talking to the witch at the end?
Skeletor?
Yes, Skull Knight. Did you expect him to come back? Probably not.
I did not. It was a surprise, and I was hoping they would show us who it was, because I thought they would leave it as a cliffhanger. So I'm glad that we know who it is. But yeah, I was surprised that he was there, because I would imagine he wouldn't have much power there, or I don't know, maybe so. But yeah, so what is his relationship with that witch, and what are their motivations to send Guts on his way? Or
yeah.
Wait, where does this happen?
At the end, I think, towards the end.
Yeah.
No, not towards the end.
Before they leave for the village.
Yeah.
I think it's
Which
before
witch
they
is he
leave.
talking to? Is he talking to Shirky or the old witch?
The old witch.
The old witch.
I
Yeah.
Oh, I missed it.
Yeah, I mean, it's like we don't really know who he is, right? So, like, where is his magical power coming from, right? Is it coming from the same source of a witch, the same source as the, the hand, demon hand? We don't really know, I guess, right? I don't think we've been told.
No, I guess we were told that he was previously an elf, but.
Previously now, I try to remember.
I think
I thought he was the king of that. Like, under the tower, there was the king of the old kingdom, and he wore like skeleton armor. And they told that story, and we just assumed that was the skeleton dude because he wore skeleton armor.
Yeah, that's what I thought too. But I forget which volume. But Puck said he detected an elf soul in him or something like that.
Or elf magic, maybe?
Yeah,
he said elf magic or something like that.
Okay. He detected some elfness from that guy. Oh, yeah.
Yep, you're right.
Yeah.
I see it, Steve. Thank you.
Trying to figure out which chapter that is.
And I think we wondered at the time whether the king of that kingdom that did the OG sacrifice was
the OG sacrifice.
Yeah.
What was an elf, and maybe both things are true.
Yeah, could be. We don't know what elves look like, to be honest. Are they just normal-sized humans with pointy ears, or are they?
Yeah, or was it? If Skeletor was previously Puck-sized, and the first thing he decided after he gained ascension or whatever it is, I want a human skeleton.
He hit the bell, right? And, Griffith wanted a kingdom. Skeletor, he just wanted to be big.
Yeah.
I want a big horse.
I want a big horse to be big. We'll make it big. Yeah, I missed that. I skimmed this too fast.
I'm trying to find it again, where the part is.
It's right before the last issue, I think, if you're...
is it? Okay.
I think it's the last page of the issue. It's 2 issues, sorry. It's right when the band is leaving.
Oh, okay.
Even the house and everything, the house and the different artwork.
Yes.
On the witch's house, like the nature vibe and the leaves and the vines.
Okay.
It's very. That's what also gave me the elf.
Yeah,
Vibes.
100%.
Okay.
It's the end of the elementals chapter.
Oh, actually, what does the wait when the witch talks to Skeletor? What does he say? Old friend? Because maybe your translation is different.
Yeah.
She
old
says,
friend.
"Oh, yeah."
And then what does she say after?
I want to believe the heart of a man still remains within you.
Oh,
And he says,
okay.
even if I don't do it myself, that one may also be a factor guided by the law of causality.
Yeah. So maybe he's not an elf because it says a human man heart. Maybe he's a man.
I kind of wonder if that's guts.
That one?
If the Skeletor's guts in some way, or
Oh,
That's
like
probably
guts.
future.
It's
future
That's
guts.
fine.
Guts and Puck merged into
Oh
one.
no. Maybe it's a Citro.
God, Marsha,
Oh
that's
no,
terrible.
no! I'm explaining the elf vibes that Puck got. Is it?
Imagine being melded to the thing that annoys you most for all the turn. Maybe that's why he's lost his skin.
Yeah. Or maybe time is a circle, and then the guts becomes him, and then goes around and
Time is a flat circle.
So
yeah.
Puck and Guts are the same person.
Who
Oh.
knows? Who knows?
Oh, Steve, don't give me a disgusted look. I'm just speculating.
I'm like, no. Hope not.
It's terrible speculation.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I think she also. Then the witch also says, "You suffer from the same curse, and pity them." So it's, yeah. So I think we were right in everything we said.
What about the Puck and Guts being so
No.
relevant?
About Skeletor doing the sacrifice,
Oh, okay.
or being
Oh,
cursed by
really?
the sacrifice, sort of thing.
Wait, what?
He's a
page?
fellow sufferer, right?
Yeah.
That's what she says.
But we
So
don't
I
know
if it necessarily.
if he started the sacrifice or if he was a victim of a sacrifice of someone else or whatever, right?
Because if he's that old long dead king that we've hinted that he was, then he initiated the sacrifice.
Yeah.
He sacrificed a lot of people,
Yes.
right? Like many people under that tower. I don't remember that all, but
Or maybe he's not the king. Maybe he's someone close to the king and he took his armor or something and he was supposed to be sacrificed just like Guts was, maybe. Right?
absolutely possible. Like, we're certainly not like they didn't give us enough to figure it out for sure at this point in the story.
Yeah.
What part told you that, Dan? Was it when she says perhaps pity for a fellow sufferer?
Yeah.
That does make it seem like he's a sacrifice, or at least that he's
Yeah. Yeah, I didn't
Or
think
something.
of that.
no,
Yeah. It's still kind of
we'll
cool,
see.
Yeah.
even though he talks in a weird way.
Do you guys imagine him with the voice of death from Discworld?
I don't know if
I haven't read.
what do I imagine him like? I don't know. Some sort of metallic sort of voice. That's how I imagine it. Like, like you're talking into an empty armor sort of thing. That's
Oh,
how
I
I
like
imagine
that.
it.
Nice. I like that.
I always think of him as those Skeletor memes,
Oh,
which makes him very tragic and comedic.
yeah.
Which is not the intention at all. But,
Which Skeletor meme were you thinking of?
just all the ones where Skeletor is telling you something really creepy, about all the bugs living in your eyebrows, or something, and then running off and laughing. I'm on Twitter too much.
These the appearance of these trolls, I think we had mentioned earlier, they do differ a little bit because I'm looking up appearance of trolls in fantasy. A lot of them are kind of what you would expect in a Lord of the Rings movie or like traditional fantasy type of thing, or green, green, no hair, almost like an overgrown, like a big elf almost, muscular elf, green and long beards and armor. So I think this is a little different than, but I don't know if that's common in that culture though. So
I don't think there were trolls before this in manga. I can't. I mean, there might have been. I can't remember any.
Well, they're a manga very closely, like, set in D&D style worlds.
But before
Right.
Berserk?
Like Record of Lodoss War. That's not recent.
Yeah, you're right. When is that? It's 1988 original run.
Yeah, so no, that is that. I mean, that's certainly before Berserk was popular. I don't know if it was before the very first issue came out, but it's certainly before this. This was 2000s.
Yeah,
24.
but I don't remember there being, like I thought most of the monsters were sort of more Asian folklore, but maybe I remember incorrectly.
I don't think I had trolls, but a lot of that stuff was like very much like we play D&D and we're going to make an anime about it.
Okay.
It's really not Japanese stuff. It's really like guys in like medieval armor and
okay.
medieval European armor and stuff. Lodoss War may not have the monsters. I can't remember. It's been a long time, but there are definitely Japanese properties that were doing that. But to them, it was as exotic as when we make samurai movies, right? It's that kind of we're taking from someone else's culture and.
Oh yeah, or if we were like putting like a Kirin or something like that in as a monster in our.
Yeah, which we see.
Yeah, but probably not. We don't see much pre 2000 or pre 90s, I guess.
Yeah.
Varsha, yesterday you had mentioned this is what you really liked this volume. What did you like about? What did you enjoy most about it?
Yeah, I think I liked the witch, and then even though I didn't fully understand it, the whole astral world versus the other realms and so on. And I liked the different kind of magic that we saw. It just felt like completely different from what else we were doing. So this felt like a side quest volume, like you guys said, and I didn't enjoy most of the side quests we've been on. This one was fun. So.
Well, because I mean, one we get new stuff, right? It's not just like we receive the same stuff, just slightly different, right?
Yeah. It wasn't another side quest with like we're doing something, but we're killing monsters on the way. It's sure, like it still boils down to that, but it's a different kind of monster. It's not those demons, and there's a whole other aspect of the world that's revealed to us, which wouldn't have been so interesting in and of itself, but then we have these two threads to our current plot, right? One with Skeletor, of course, we discussed, and then the other, the implication that the younger witch's destiny is tied to Guts' somehow. That's intriguing as well. Do we think she's going to become part of their travel band?
And I think we're getting more like from the other characters, right? Because we've seen Guts before, so we know him. So now we're getting a bit more of the other characters, especially. Yeah, he's like saying, now Never Witch is in charge. I'll just let her. do. So we're getting more from her, which is I think she's an interesting character. So I don't mind seeing a bit of that.
Yep, I agree.
It's the first time we've seen, other than Puck's healing dandruff, this is our first time seeing Guts getting like companions and magical support. So it's like it's almost like all of a sudden we have this idea that we might get a leveler playing field than we've had.
Yeah.
And before it was like amazing that he could even for a moment stand up to these creatures with his like incredible willpower and a giant hunk of iron sword. That was just a giant hunk of iron. Right now it's like, okay, now he's got a spellcaster next to him and he's got people have enchanted weapons and like maybe we're seeing like it's not just sheer will and brutality that's going to maybe give him a chance. He's got some help. And we didn't have much. I mean, Puck was there in like volume 1, healing him. But other than that, we didn't see much. So that's like a shift. It feels much more hopeful in a way. Like, it's not a dramatic thing, right? They're just going to kill some trolls. But now he's got, like, someone who can, like, cover up the curse and, like, mute its ability a little bit. So you might get some sleep.
Yeah.
It's like we had no inkling before now that was ever going to happen for him. He was just going to be just effed in the worst way for the rest of his life until he died. And now it's like, oh, he can get help, you know? And then we'll see more later of that. But it's kind of a shift to me.
Yeah.
No, I like that. And I think that's maybe why, like, the parts with the witch, I almost felt like relieved, like you said. So, yeah, what you said, Joe, I guess there's hope now. I like that. Yeah, that's a nice way to
He
put
might
it.
have a chance.
Yeah.
Because before it felt like, yeah, he's struggling and we can admire the struggle, but it also felt very hopeless.
Yeah.
Like, oh yeah, it's kind of cool that he's striving with all his might to win, but he's not gonna. Like, he can't happen. Right? He's fighting things that aren't even material beings with a big hunk of. You can't just chop that with a sword. But now it's like, oh, maybe you can if you get the right spell cast on the sword. Who knows?
Yeah.
You know, we don't. You know. So.
Yeah. It's just a different feeling, different vibe, I guess. Which is why some people are like, you know, like you get different vibes for different arcs of Berserk. That's why some people prefer the Golden Age or prefer the Tower of Conviction arc or prefer this arc or whatever, right? Like, if you compare what we've seen of this arc to, the Tower of Conviction arc, it's like nothing. It's completely different, right?
This is more like regular fantasy and less like horror.
Yeah.
Once you start accumulating companions and magical weapons, that's a fantasy story. And you're going after trolls. This is a fantasy story, right? Terry Brooks could have written this.
But I mean, in lore, it also makes sense because we're sort of thinning the veil between, right? The in between, you know, like in between is thinning, right?
But that's bringing in good stuff as along with the bad.
Yeah.
And before, it really felt like the thinning of the veil just meant monsters were coming. And now it's like, oh, but also help is coming.
Yeah.
From the same mechanism in a way.
Yeah.
So we're getting both.
It makes it more magical, yeah. So I guess it's fitting that the whole tone shifts to be more magical as the world shifts, right? Maybe it's a how to say voluntary choice. Maybe it's just, you know, he wanted to do some D&D fancy writing, and he decided to do it that way. I don't know.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Was there an implication? So when the witch was handing out magical objects, she decided there's not anything she could do for guts, but also that the sword was more than it seemed?
No, she was trying to give him that axe.
The axe. And he refused?
And he's like, I don't need
A small axe.
You can wield that with one finger.
Come on.
Give him 10 of those.
Did any of them, I forget, but did any of them imply that the sword was more than it seemed? Like it had some elementals attached to it already?
Nothing that specific.
I think it said it has some sort of aura, maybe, something, you know? But nothing, it didn't say it's magical, no.
Okay.
Like there's something where you see her looking and she just the sword and she goes something like, whoa.
Okay, yeah.
It was something like
something like that. Or you see some, like, wisp of smoke or whatever coming from the... I think it's something like that. Let me see. What chapter is it?
Yeah.
Oh, no. She's just looking at it. Yeah. That's it. Yeah.
So here he says, I just want what I'm used to taking, and then that's her eyes, and she's looking at the sword.
I thought that was the eyes of the sword, so I interpreted that as the sword has a soul or something.
No.
I think they're her
Yeah, it's her
eyes.
eyes. It's her eyes, yeah.
Okay. That makes a lot more sense.
Yeah. But it doesn't
He's like,
imply
"Well."
that she's seeing something. She's perceiving something, I guess, right?
Yeah.
But no specifics.
Okay.
What?
Okay, that makes sense. What did...
Tell us.
Sorry, go ahead. What do you guys think of the elementals and the magic? I enjoyed that bit. It felt a little like like almost like it didn't belong in this world, but I like elemental magic anytime. So
Okay. Yeah. Very cute. Little
cute.
little small animals, lizards on the sword or whatever.
Yeah, I think
But magic that involves like directing like little magical beings to do stuff. I know I've seen that. I think I've seen that in manga and anime. Maybe I mean it's implied in a lot of D&D stuff. You summon fire elementals a spell.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, I guess they're bigger though. Fire elementals usually.
Yeah, those are bigger, but I feel like there's other things where it's
Yeah.
implied that you're channeling smaller versions. I don't know.
it kind of felt like with these weapons, they all almost like level up. Like they kind of like reach the checkpoint and they get like they go from like orange armor to red armor or red weapons. That's kind of the way it felt. Like they were, like they reached another tier of what they can wield in their power.
Yeah. Or again, it's the classical D&D. Like, oh, you guys have been working so long. Here, have some rewards.
Yeah.
Your weapons,
Dagger of fire.
right?
Yeah, +2 dagger of fire, and you have a cloak of arrow deflection, and you get
Yeah.
he gets a sword of wind summoning, and it's like a D&D
And hopefully they
campaign.
do
Like,
something
you know,
smart with it. Right? That's what you're always hoping.
Are they theirs to keep for after the troll quest, do you think? Or is it, you have these until you destroy the trolls and then bring them back to be...
You gotta be able to keep them, otherwise it's not payment for killing the trolls. The whole point is you kill the
That's
trolls and you get to hang on to these.
Maybe they degrade really fast and you have to take them to a weaponsmith to repair them.
The weapons.
Oh, but she did say if you work with them, the more you work with them, the stronger they get because they understand the wielder and whatnot. So
Yeah.
I guess they might get more powerful over time.
They'll level up
Yes.
with you.
Very convenient. But yeah, that sort of thing is like, how do I say? It's sometimes hard, or it takes me out of it a bit sometimes when it's like, in mangas, there's a lot of time very clear progression, right? You're like, because the enemies get stronger, the characters get stronger, and it's like, oh, our protagonist loses to the main enemy, he becomes stronger, he beats the main enemy, now there's a stronger main enemy, right? Like a tournament arc. It's like just generic structure. I guess we're doing a bit of it in a sense, right? Guts is going, it's a bit leveling up. I guess we'll see where that goes, but it can be hard to do this in an organic way, I think, in which it doesn't feel like you're doing it, right?
Yeah.
Because you don't want to
As a
feel
writer,
like,
it's hard.
you don't want to feel like, oh, well, now the writer's like, well, we've already done this level of enemies, we need to make them stronger, so I'll just make it stronger. Well, I guess I need to make the main character stronger now. Instead, I'll make it like a good narrative flow, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you don't want something like Bleach or whatever. Some people like Bleach. I don't like it, but because that is very apparent, that sort of thing.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know what are your thoughts on like exponential power curves in books and comics? Because it's a very common thing, right? You start from it's weak and then it becomes stronger and stronger. Right? How do you make the main protagonist stronger without just giving him more and more stuff all the time or making it unrealistic? I don't know.
I mean, it bugs me in places like DBZ because I'm always like, well, how lucky for them that the imminent threat to Earth always arrived when the main characters were just too weak to defeat them easily, but close enough that they could quickly level up to where they could defeat them. It's like, what if Frieza had shown up like 10 years earlier? They'd all be screwed, right? Like, so that bugs me, and I spent a lot of time writing my books to avoid that. And then it's also like, well, if you can level up to this point, why isn't your next door neighbor already there? Like, 100 levels up. Like Cradle does a really good job with that. Cradle has a really good like built-in like schema and explanation. So when people level up to a certain point, it has like their powers are so great they literally have an impact on reality itself, and they have to like ascend like to another plane. So you're like it explains why there's like places where the very powerful don't go. You know, it kind of he really does a good job, but it's really hard to pull that off. You know, like oh you're struggling to defend your village. Why isn't the village headmaster like already like 1 million like, levels up, easily wiping out all the Cradle is good at that, explaining why, but it's hard.
It is hard, yeah.
DBC is terrible. It doesn't even try. Like it just like now we're fighting gods, but like 5 years ago we were nothing, and why did the gods show up earlier? This wouldn't have fit the story.
I think the structure of it is literally a tournament arc, right? So you get with stronger opponents as the tournament bracket gets narrower and narrower as they defeat the weaker. Yeah.
Well, Naruto does a good job with this too, because it's very clear in Naruto, right? Early on, Naruto and his friends, they're kids. They're not sent on the tough missions. They're not set up against tough enemies. Tough enemies are out there somewhere, and they're being sort of countered when anyone's fighting them. It's the older people from the village who go fight them. Like they won't send Naruto and his classmates. So then it really makes sense how the progression works. He does a good job, but again, it's hard. I really like Naruto. It's one of my favorites. And then Hunter x Hunter is terrible with that. The math in Hunter x Hunter makes no sense. Like thousands of people, the number of people at each power level, like 1 in 1,000 can make it to this level. There would need to be like hundreds of billions of people at the low level to make any sense why anyone's at this higher level, and there aren't. You have to just not care. Put your calculator away and just enjoy.
True.
The artwork in this volume is really great too. But Joe, you were mentioning that too, before.
Yeah. It's beautiful. It's beautiful.
I think this is getting to his like definitive style, I guess, if you want to define it like that. Yeah. I think it's fairly consistent from now on.
Yeah.
If I remember correctly.
And a lot of beautiful stuff in here, not just gross stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he's done beautiful stuff before, but maybe not as much. But like you get like the definite with the elves, with the witch's mansion, some really pretty images that aren't just Griffith. Other Griffith. Griffith was always pretty.
Yeah.
And he does great faces. Like she's got a great face.
Yeah. A very comforting face.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but also not the stereotype of anything in particular. Like a good mom face, I guess.
Good mom face.
Yeah, and he does a very good job of like, playing with like the very darks and very brights. It's like the backgrounds of the whole scenes are very, very well done. Very, very well done.
It's phenomenal.
Yeah, it's definitely, even if you don't like the later chapters, like they're very well drawn.
Oh
yeah.
So that's good. You can definitely see that now he's got more people to help him out, to fill in all the background and all the little bits and everything. I feel before he had to be less detailed in a lot of the backgrounds because he just didn't have the time to fill everything in. But now, like, every page is filled to the brim of, like, drawing pretty much, right?
Yeah. Lots of detail, like on the castles and buildings and things, all the little bricks and lots of detail.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very intricate.
Fantastic.
So the trolls, sounds like we're about to have another big battle with a bunch of trolls that are... And I did wonder...
Started, right?
Yeah, the trolls are kind of coming down and attack the village. I wonder, because they did mention that there's so many more than there usually are. So is there something telling them to go because Guts is there, or is that just because... I mean, I wonder if they were being told to do that, like they're under someone's control, or they're aware of Guts being there.
I think they said before, like the villagers said something like, "Oh, there's nothing left to steal, so the next time they come, they're just gonna destroy everything." Maybe, but that doesn't explain why there would be more of them, right?
Brought an entire army.
I don't feel like I have a solid grasp on how the trolls relate to like the God Hand and are they answering to them? Are they just from the same general like realm, but they're unconnected? Like, I don't really have a sense for that. And I wonder if trolls are appearing in like Kush.
Probably.
Like, is this all over the world that trolls are popping up and like making trouble? Like, I assume we'll find out some of this stuff, but these are questions.
I assume they get their own Indian mythology, folklore. Troll equivalent, I guess. I don't know what that would be.
Rakshasas or something.
Troll equivalent.
Yeah, I don't know. Is there I don't know, big creatures that live in the forest and come out to eat children? In
especially
folklore?
under bridges.
Yeah.
Big creatures
Trolls
that
under
live in the
bridges.
forest and come out to eat children. Eat children, not specifically, no. You
Or
said
people.
Rakshasas, Joe. Yeah, like those are demons. But there are monsters, but they're supposed to be sort of there are asuras, which I guess is sort of the same thing as Rakshasas. I don't know if they're different. Maybe Rakshasas are like a lower level than asuras. But yeah, like they don't have any specific characteristics. Maybe there are specific like named monsters whom, our heroes fight in various battles and stuff. And they, like Bakasura, I think, eats children perhaps, or just eats people maybe. I think that's a thing. So there are named monsters, single monsters, but there isn't like a variety of monsters that just eats children or anything like that. So
Interesting.
Yeah. Well, maybe we'll see something when the Kushan army comes.
Yeah.
They'll bring their own, I guess.
Their own monsters.
They look monstrous enough by themselves with those muscles.
All those big guys, yeah.
Yeah.
I think most people look normal, though. I don't think that's most people. They're not all bodybuilders.
Oh.
I have a figure of one of those guys, like a little like a plastic figure I got like 20 years ago.
Oh, really?
At a convention. I found it, but I don't have it in this house, so I'm gonna have to bring it out and parade him for you guys. I have a big guts too, like a 12-inch guts. I don't know where I put it. Yeah, when I went on a brief figure collecting phase, and then I realized I had no room for any of this stuff, so I stopped.
So, sorry, go ahead, Steve.
No, I was just going to say, as you get older, I think the collecting phases kind of go away. I was like, I don't want to have to deal with all this crap. Like, what do I have this stuff for? But
I was going to ask Joe and Dan, what about the series is, like, when you were reading it the first time, what made you fall in love with it? Or, like, what did you really like about it that became a lifelong favorite?
I mean, it's not my favorite manga, but...
okay, yeah, like one of, I guess.
Yeah. I don't know. I like the Golden Age arc. I like how it ends. I like the... sounds bad. I like the eclipse. I don't like the eclipse. I like it narratively.
Yeah, I feel like we need vocabulary for talking about the negative things that happen in the books, because it's just weird. It's weird to say I enjoy, but like, that's not quite what we mean.
I enjoyed this rape scene. That never sounds right. It never comes across well.
No. But yeah, that's my favorite part. I don't know about Joe.
I like the visuals. It's always for me the visual, like the guts with the giant sword, and he swings and like these huge like spread panels where he's just cut through a bunch of stuff, and fundamentally that's what speaks to me about anything is those moments There's a lot of stuff I don't like. Like, I don't like Casca being turned into a near catatonic, version of herself. Like that always, but you kind of have to. I kind of love Guts. To me, what I love about most fantasy and sci-fi is the power fantasy. It's like, life is tough, and there's a guy just like, this is like an insurmountable obstacle. I'm going to keep swinging at it. I'm not just going to give up and go back to my day job. And that's very appealing because it's not what most of us do. It's certainly not what I do. Mm-hmm. There are these insurmountable, huge obstacles out there. That's, I don't have a Griffith, but I've got maybe like a political party that bugs me, right? I can't do anything about it except sort of like, there's crappy things going on in the world. I've got to get back to my job. So Guts is like, feeling towards Griffith is a lot like my feeling towards certain political things, right? Like, except it's almost as huge and impossible an opponent. He's just still swinging at it. Like, screw you guys, I'm going to swing until you come down or I die. Like, that's so appealing. I'd love to live like that. I can't. I'm not gonna. But I find that it's such a wonderful fantasy. I love it.
Wow, that's interesting. It's like, it's almost the opposite of what I like. I like crushing hopelessness and the hero getting defeated by someone much stronger than him. That's what I like.
Well, that's catharsis, right? That's a cathartic response.
I don't know.
I like when the hero wins in the end. That's why I write what I do. Like, I always write, and I always tell people, like, don't worry, the hero's going to win in my books. I'll tell you, before you pick up the first book, before you read the first page, don't worry.
Spoiler alert.
Oh, no.
Yeah, but it's not. Like, I don't want you to be stressed out. Like, I want you to know, like, okay, there's a tough moment, but he's going to get through it. Because that's what I was inspired by. I was inspired by these Tamil movies and these Telugu movies where the hero is just so cool, he can't possibly lose. But you want to see how he wins, and you're still going to enjoy it. And that was my inspiration for writing, in a way. I'm not saying other stuff isn't cool. Like, nothing wrong with the hero getting crushed by overwhelming evil.
I feel like most people would want the hero to win, though.
A lot of people like it dark. A lot of people really do like what you're talking about.
I feel they want the hero to suffer, but in the end, they do want him to win, I feel.
Probably more often than not.
Yeah.
It's not overwhelmingly. It's not everything.
Yeah, no, that's not true. But yeah, you're right. But yeah, I like the opposite. I want the main character to lose at the end, but I don't want to know about it. That's why it's so hard to. If I Google like, book where the hero loses, it's not what I want.
It's like reading every volume of Baki the Grappler. So you're gonna lose this time? God damn it, he didn't lose.
Yeah.
You lose this time? God damn it, he didn't lose.
Sometimes, yeah. I want him to lose, but I don't want to know he's gonna lose.
Yep.
I want to be surprised.
It's a hard.
But it makes it very hard to find books like that, because other people are like, "Oh, you like that? Well, you should read this." I'm like, "Okay, well, I know about how it ends now."
Yeah.
You just need to read random things until you find what you're looking for.
Yeah.
And the hero's losing is not that easy to find. That is not super common.
No, it's not.
True.
Oh, Dan, we have to ask you what you thought of the ending of A War to End All one of these days.
Oh, yeah, because I wasn't able to... I don't even remember what it was. I think I had to go out for some reason. I don't remember. Yeah. It was an ending.
It feels a bit like your kind of ending.
I don't know. Maybe I would have liked a couple more pages talking about something that happened. It just was very abrupt. I thought there was going to be another chapter after that. Because when I ended, I was like, wait a second, what? There's the epilogue or whatever post-credit scenes. It does remind me of another book series, Steve, that you've also read.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Where the ending is very abrupt. I don't know. It was a thing.
It was
happened.
something. Yeah.
But it was interesting. I appreciate that.
Cool.
I just left wondering, what happens after, right?
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
But anything else you all can think of for volume 24? Well, cool. So we'll do 25 next week. So Joe, let us know where people can find you and what books. When is your book available?
You can find me at jcmburn.com. My new book's not on there. Partial Function, available for pre-order on Amazon under JCM Burn, and it's available Tuesday. Big release day. I'm having a live release party on Kayla Speaks Reading, something like that. Kayla's channel. I don't know if you guys know Kayla. She has to interview me, and I said, that's release day. We'll make it a release party. It's not really a release party, but I'll be drinking, so I guess it's a release party.
Nice.
Read that book. Read the first chapter. If you don't like the first chapter, stop reading because it doesn't get better than that, but it doesn't get worse.
Nice.
The entire book is encapsulated in the first chapter. All the tone, all everything. So, yeah, if anyone wants, if you're a reviewer, ping me. I can send you an arc.
I just pre-ordered, so too late.
Oh, you didn't.
Yeah.
Thank you. The cover is awesome.
It is pretty cool.
I freaking love that cover. I cannot tell you how much I love that cover. It was way better than I thought it was going to be for my first time working with this artist, and I was just like, holy crap.
Nice.
Because I told him what I wanted. He didn't quite do what I wanted. What he did was so much better. So I was like, all right. What are you going to do?
Gonna have to get his name from you. Yeah.
Sometimes you have to let professionals do their job.
You do, yeah. It's a very, getting an artist to get what you want out of their art is a whole skill set. It's why there are art directors for publishing houses, and of course, as an indie writer, you have to have it, the whole skill set. And I'm learning. I make a lot of mistakes. I've definitely had covers come out where I've had many that you've never seen because they're not good. So it's all, but it's all really is like talking to artists is its whole separate. Do a whole podcast on that. One day I'll make a video, but this guy just absolutely nailed exactly the intent of what I wanted, which was like phenomenal. I was so happy, and so we'll see. Hopefully people enjoy it because it's a fantasy novel, and it's my Spiffbo 10 entry. If I can get it into Spiffbo 10, that's my dream. I want to make it further in that context. I wrote this book just to go in that context because I lost last time. I was like, I want to win this.
Is it the first in a series?
It might be. When I wrote it, actually for like 10 months, I could not think of a sequel because if you read it, it's got a very specific plot. Like woman's out to achieve a goal, she achieves it, book ends. It's done. But there's clearly it's a universe. There's characters. Some of them live, so there's always a follow-up story. And I actually came up with an idea for a follow-up story 2 weeks ago for 2 more books, potentially.
Oh.
Nice.
So whether I write them or not, partially will be dependent on whether I can make money on this one. No, I'll probably just write them. Either way, I don't know when. The ordering of when I write what is going to depend on how well these things are received. So right now, people are really liking this, which means they're probably going to write the next one sooner than later. But if I can't sell any, then I'm less likely. So that's always how it is. I have to. Because right now I'm juggling 3 different series, and that's just hard.
Yeah.
So.
Sure. Yeah. That's crazy. And Dan, where can people find you? How many doors do we have to knock on until we find you?
It depends where you start.
We just started somewhere in North America.
And you're just going every single door?
Just starting working our way over. So we'll get you eventually.
Yeah, I guess so. It will take a long time.
Yeah.
Well, you can just more easily find me on the Patreon forum, DNFire17. Just message me and ask me what my address is, and then I'll send it to you.
Oh, okay. That'll save a lot of time.
Yeah, I'll save a lot of time. And send me some recommendations for books, but make sure to do it in a casual way so I don't think it's related to, the ending, so I don't know what's going to happen. maybe say like, oh, read this. You'll like it because this character is, I don't know, has something that you like, or I don't know, some other thing. And the ending is very boring, so don't worry about it.
I think I'm going to use that to troll you to read into reading books that I know you won't like.
Oh no, I don't want that.
So mean.
I think Paramita trolled us with War and Peace, but that's a whole nother conversation.
Yeah, I still
really?
can't
Why?
tell.
Well, yeah, we'll talk about it after, but it's another story. But yeah, I think she was trolling us. At least she got us. But Varsha, where can people find you?
You can find me on my YouTube channel, Reading by the Rainy Mountain. The About page has ways to reach me directly if you want to send me book recommendations. Not like the ones Dan likes, but like the ones I like. I like Puck until recently. Anyway. And I hang out on the page shooting forum all the time.
Cool. Well, we will see everyone next week and see what happens with these trolls, and hopefully they don't assault anyone in the for a volume or so. We'll see. Yeah, I don't know.
Not very high chance of that happening.
No. Yeah.
Do you also
Yeah.
routinely believe pigs can fly?
Very good. Yeah. Yeah. Probably things are pretty bleak right now. So, but it's Berserk. So we'll talk to everyone next week.
Bye, guys.